Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can go to patreon.com and choose a subscription level over there. At every subscription level, you get the daily forecast a day early over there if you're interested in it. Or you can watch it here with us on YouTube. Every day, well, not live, but I premiere it every morning in the chat room. With my forecast, they are broad spectrum reading in the sense that they're intended for quite a few people, whoever may see them, whenever they see them. So they are intended for the greater collective, for the highest good. Therefore, even though they're created for a specific day, the message is sort of timeless. If you see it on a date that's not the date that's listed on the video, that's fine. You can still utilize the message. If it fits in your life, it's up to you to figure out where the message fits in your life as I'm speaking. If you do figure out where it fits and you decide to make any decisions in your personal life from any of my videos, know that those decisions are your own responsibility. You have full responsibility for those decisions. Never take anything that I say over that of a professional in their field, like a lawyer, a doctor, or a therapist. Always listen to them first and foremost, and use your own highest intelligence and intuition when making your decisions. So this is the last day of December. The last day of 2020 is this reading. It's for December 31st, which would be a Thursday. We're going, I'm filming this right now on the morning of the full moon, and the last full moon of the year in the sign of Cancer. So that's all kind of cool. There's going to be some probably trippy energy that we'll all be feeling. I forgot to say too that if this doesn't make sense for any reason, I say this in all of my videos just because I never know who's new and who's not when they're watching. If this doesn't make any sense or doesn't seem to fit into your life, that's completely fine. Do not worry. It doesn't mean that anything's wrong. You might just be working on something different at this time. Okay? You can always watch, you can play reading roulette and pick a reading from any time. I have hundreds of readings on the in the years past, so you can look and just like randomly scroll and pick one and see what the message is and see if it applies to you, if it resonates. So let's see what's going on for Thursday the 31st. How are we sending out 2020, guys? What is it that we're doing to send away 2020? I also, just for those of you that may watch this, there's a new moon in Cancer full moon in Cancer pick a card that I decided to do last night. That is up and that's available to you to watch. It doesn't necessarily have to be watched just during the full moon in Cancer either. Again, all of these messages are timeless and they're intended to be used when they're seen. But I was inspired to kind of do that with the full moon in Cancer. So I may do one for every full moon. Okay, so let's see for this year. We'll see. Depends on how we all respond to it. What do we need to know today? Okay, that was an interesting cut. Wow. All right, so we've got 3 queens coming up. This is the Queen of Swords. We had the Queen of Pentacles on the 29th, the Queen of Wands on the 30th, which was tonight. I'm filming this on the morning of the 30th, guys, just so that you're not getting a little confused, because I get a little confused because I have to film these a day ahead. And now we've got the Queen of Wands coming in, the Queen of Swords coming in on the 31st, right? So what I want to talk about this, how I want to talk about this is because we have this full moon in Cancer, and Cancer is the sign, Cancer is associated with the planet of the moon, right? It's also very much a mothering emotional sign. Water sign, right? All the queens in the 4 suits represent water, right? Their underlying queen element is water. Then within their more primary element, or active element, I would say, like, let's look at it like this. The way that I kind of see it is the queens represent, like the kings are swords, the queens are, cups, right, which is water. And so they're the more emotional sort of the court cards. And then their primary motive or their primary element is whatever suit they are, which is swords, cups, wands, or pentacles. So when we're talking about this, we're talking about the way that I see this is that, if Cancerian energy is that sort of emotive, watery, mothering energy attached to the moon, the subconscious, the more feminine side, and we're seeing all of these queens leading up to this full moon in Cancer, it's very much these queens feel like they're arriving and they're in line. They're asking us to step into our power, not only to be aware of our power, but also to sort of feel our power. That's the water aspect of the queens. That's also, I kind of feel like the activity that's going on around the full moon in Cancer for the end of the year. It wants us to, I feel like these queens want us to step forward, understanding what it is that we want. The Queen of Pentacles, 3 days ago, she's talking about, okay, what do we want to create in our world? And how do we want to go about creating the physical manifestation of whatever it is that we want? Then yesterday we see the Queen of Wands, which is all about that sort of spiritual desire and not being stopped in that. Now, when we look at this Queen of Swords for today, to me, I feel like this is about clear thought. This is about precision. This is about being analytical, being more intelligent, relying on our wits versus our emotions, right? We have our emotions working with us, but we're also willing and ready to make quick decisions, clear decisions, definitive decisions. There's no wishy-washy here, right? And we saw that with all of the queens. I kind of feel like, because they are the queen cards, they don't have that sort of wishy-washiness. I did feel a little bit of sort of weirdness with the Queen of Pentacles at the beginning of this week, but I think that was just us sorting stuff out, maybe. To me, I feel like this Queen of Swords is about us. Yesterday, hopefully, we were in that idea of what it is we desire and getting ready and geared up to take action, move mountains to make it happen, that sort of a thing. With this Queen of Swords, it's like, okay, now we're ready to make decisions around that sort of thing, right? Whatever it is that we want, we're making clear-cut decisions towards moving towards that. I feel like she feels very clear, and that's a very swords thing. Swords is the element of air and the intellect. So we should have a very clear mind, and we would want a very clear mind after the intensity of the full moon and it being in a more emotional sign like Cancer. It would bring up those emotions, but the clarity that we see in all of the queens in each of their suits helps us to sort of balance everything out, right? And bring about sort of the change that we want to see. So I kind of feel like through feeling, or I feel like the messages for the last 3 days as we enter, like we leave one year and move into the next, and we're finishing out the year on this full moon, these ladies are coming to us, reminding us to check in with our feelings and come from our sort of highest and best awareness while doing so. And I feel like this is the awareness of our intellect or our intelligence, our clear thought, our decisive thinking, that sort of a thing, right? So we want to look at everything not from an emotional place, not from a place of regret, shame, sadness, or even, I wouldn't say joy is a bad way to look at the year, but like we want to look at the year as from a more analytical state, right? So instead of walking into 2021 feeling like, oh my God, that was such a hard year, I barely made it through, we need to like look at it from more of an analytical place, like taking the emotion out of it and going, wow, I really made it through that year. Thank God. I did a good job, right? It's kind of like that sort of a difference is what I feel like this Queen of Swords is saying, because she's going to sort of cut the final cord to 2020 is the feeling that I'm getting, that allows us to move into 2021 with all the hope and the desire and the creativity that we see in the other two queens this year, or these last 2 days, right? They've sort of set the tone, and now the Queen of Swords has come in to sort of tie everything up in a way, cut away any loose ends. And these loose ends might be situations that you're aware of, that you might need to separate yourself from. That can sometimes be an indication of the Queen of Swords. Allow yourself to trust that intelligence or that knowing and just act on it. And act on it from a place of just impartial, being fair. Those are really honorable sort of Queen of Swords traits. She's going to look at things from a very practical place. So let's see here. What does the Song of My Heart want to tell us before we leave out of 2020? Okay, wow, this is interesting. I live with eternal hope. And it says here, I believe I can endure great sorrow and emerge stronger through any transformation. What I love about this is we have the Queen of Swords, who's an air sign element, right? We have this crane moving towards the future, towards 2021. Now, both of these women look a little bit tired to me. They actually look very similar in the face. I love the white hair of this woman from the Song of My Heart deck. And I see, like, she has that mastectomy or that breast removal there. Like, we have the sort of burdens, sorrows, battle scars from maybe our previous lives, or not lives, years behind us, right? But it's time to kind of move on, kind of move into this new year, set up a new cycle for ourselves. I feel like the Queen of Swords cuts that free. This I live with eternal hope allows us to move forward with sort of swiftness, speed. That crane feels very adept and graceful to me. Yes, we may have wounds, sadnesses, whatever those things are, but the Queen of Swords isn't going to allow those to overtake us. She's going to imbue us with intelligence and clarity, and that also keeps us kind of tied in and living with this eternal hope that we see in this second card. The interesting thing, or that I also think is kind of cool, is this was our stone for the week, was the Hope Stone. Right? So again, hope is coming back at us. Sorry, I gotta figure out a better place for this lamp. That word hope is back with us again in this reading. So there's hope moving into the new year. There's hope from the power of this full moon. There's hope from all of the experiences that we've had, no matter how rough they may have been for each and every one of us. We'll each have experienced them differently over the course of, leading up to now. But now it sort of feels like, to me, it's time to sort of, like cut our ties in a way that's like productive for us, that's healthy, that's smart, right, or intelligent, that no longer keeps us tied to the past or in any sort of mental anguish, right? There's a clarity with this Queen of Swords, and there's a purpose that she serves. So allow that to be your guide today. Allow that to be your focus today. All right, so let's see. Okay, all right. So the stone for today is on Snowflake Obsidian. Again, it wards off negativity, extremely grounding. The word is passion. To me, I like that this passion is here because it is a little bit more on the emotional side of things. It also sort of lingers in or ties in nicely to yesterday's Queen of Wands, which is that spiritual sort of desire, that ability to take action. I kind of feel like what this is saying to us is, where are we most excited? Where do we want to go? Where do we want our hope to carry us, right? As we move into 2021, what is it that we want to happen for us, right? And for those of you that are watching this on a date that's not 2020 or 2021, if you're watching this way later, the message here is about where can your passion take you, and having hope around that passion and keeping clear focus on that, making intelligent choices towards the pursuit of that. This is the message from this reading for whoever may watch it at any point in time. Staying centered and grounding in that passion, and staying clear in our mind and living in that idea of hope, and that through whatever struggles or whatever challenges we have to face, whatever falls we may have to take in the pursuit of our passions or our goals, ultimately we need to sort of get back up and keep moving forward, keep going after. Don't forget sort of who we are, what we deserve, and just have it is kind of the thing that I feel here. When I look at this, I live with eternal hope too. The white hair and that scars speak to me about those things that we maybe struggled with or that we were challenged by have made us stronger, smarter, and should actually make us more passionate, should make us more hopeful. Because we're still here, we're still pursuing, we're still making decisions, we're still moving forward, there's still that option to kind of, choose our passion, choose our focus, and move ourselves towards that in whatever way we can. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, guys. That is your forecast for the last day of this year. Remember, allow yourself to cut free anything that you don't need to take with you into 2021. Thoughts, ideas, perspectives, others' opinions, let them go. Let the Queen of Swords cut them free. Pursue your passion, live with that hope, and walk into 2021 with a new cycle, a new set of, opportunities, and create those for you. Please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video, and hit subscribe if you'd like to follow every day. Like all my social medias and follow me, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.